Here we are, keeping up with the West, episode 2. Eric, how's it going?
I'm doing very well, very, very well. How about you?
I'm doing very well as well.
All right. No, I was trying to think of a Kanye pun to do, but you know what? There's just too much Kanye seriousness. I can't even joke about it.
Right. It's not a laughing matter.
It's not.
So let's jump into it. What happened this week? I was all prepared to do a complete This Week in Kanye History podcast until about 7 o'clock this morning when he posted a new song. But yeah, otherwise, nothing really from Kanye this week until today, Monday.
Yeah. And since
he posted the full, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, let's just say since we got a little clip of it the last week.
Yeah.
It wasn't like shocking. We knew Kendrick was on the track. We kind of knew the
Right.
topic of the song.
Yeah, great to have the full version and like a long song too. It's like 6 minutes, right?
And he says the title of the track so many times throughout it. If you go to the SoundCloud where he posted it, I'm gonna have to paraphrase because of the tone of my skin. What was said, but somebody at about the 6 minute 15-second mark was like, all right, man, don't go to parties. Like, we get it, no more parties, man.
Yeah,
all right.
Yeah. So yeah, this definitely felt like I think the best track of the 3 he's put out of the past few weeks. It felt like the first one was more just like a hey, I'm still here kind of thing, like don't forget about me. Just like I can still whip something up real quick.
Yeah.
Like that song, the Facts, he put out like really quick, you could tell. Real Friends felt like, all right, you got something to say.
For me right now, but yeah.
Okay. And then No More Parties in LA was just like, all right, here we go, big long track from Kanye, and he's just like, there's no real hook to this song except for like the title of it, but it's not like there's a
changes underneath
every time. Right, he's got like a 4-minute verse.
Yeah. That's true. I didn't even notice that. I was just still listening. It's like, all right.
One note, I do like the very last line of the verse when he says, "I still love my real friends. I still love my family, even the cousin who stole my laptop."
Motherfucker.
Yeah, that's a classic Kanye line to me.
Yeah, anything continuity-wise, and plus Kanye's gotten to the point where he doesn't even have to make a larger point with a lot of things. He can just kind of say like, "Here's something that happened to me," and it's interesting almost just because it's Kanye. It just adds like another layer to the masterpiece that is Kanye's life persona that we have. And I think that's actually pretty cool to the point where, like, if he dropped a line like that or even something like that on his first record, it'd be like, who cares? I don't know you.
Yeah.
Like, I guess that's kind of interesting, but like, big deal. Buy another laptop.
Yeah.
but
I love that stuff where like the context of who it is enhances what your perception of the work.
Which actually, this song to me is a prime example of one of my favorite Kanye paradoxes, of which there are many. But this is one of my favorites, which is Kanye is a thing. I don't know if this is intentional, accident, a good read on it, or completely way off. But it sounds like with certain songs or certain verses throughout his whole career that he writes stream of consciousness sometimes, where it's almost like the first line of like a 4-bar thing is like the best line. He obviously came up with it first, and then he kind of like retraces his steps to either give you context or finish it out, because he's just like it seems like it's a line that in any sort of revision number 1 you'd bump to the end and then build around it to lead up to it. But instead it's like, no, that's what I was thinking, that's what I wrote. Or sometimes where he'll kind of just say like a rhyme but then try to like go somewhere with it. And it's usually like throwaway line that leads to something cool, but he doesn't get rid of the throwaway line eventually. He just keeps it. And that's this whole song. A lot of it reminds me of that. And the reason I call it a paradox is that sounds like I'm disparaging it because it sounds very first drafty. But in a sense, that kind of gives it a raw, almost punk rock nature where you feel like, and I noticed that the vocals on this track in particular for his parts are almost like just a little too loud. And that's happened on a number of Kanye tracks for me. And it just kind of adds to that whole thing where you have a nice polished beat or even, polished vocals, but it just has this extra element of rawness that almost sounds like a mistake or a first draft that gives it a heart and an honesty that you wouldn't get otherwise.
Yeah. Do you think he's intentionally making it sound more?
I do not know. I don't know.
Yeah.
He could very well, knowing how many times he revises things, because 90% of his stuff, you can tell it's like, oh, it's been revised a million times. This guy's a perfectionist. I say you can tell, like I couldn't tell if I hadn't read that in a million, interviews and magazines. But like,
or the tweet from last week.
What was the tweet from last week again?
Well, when he posted the wrong song and then
he goes back. Yeah. Well, yeah. So like with all that, it's just like, so it's a lot of it sounds polished and very well done, but every once in a while it really sounds like he was like, nope, that first draft is fine. So I can't tell if it's intentional or if it's I'm just Kanye, so obviously what I'm doing is working, so I'm just going to keep doing it this way. Who knows? It could be a million things, but it's just it's interesting for me to speculate on, because there is a difference between tracks that sound like, or verses that sound like that to me, and a lot of his other stuff.
I mean, he's been producing for like 20 years now almost, so he obviously knows what he's doing production wise. And I got to think like you said, the perfectionism, like this is the version he wants, I have to believe.
Yeah.
And I don't know, like it feels like like the last Good Friday, it was mostly tracks that didn't make the album. A couple did, but they were more like the demo versions of it. This time it feels like maybe these are all going to be on the album. If he's going back and like making sure it's the right version posted. If it was just like a demo, then if it's the wrong demo, who cares?
This is my first time, you confess this, really following the build-up to a Kanye album. So this is all new to me. As far as I was concerned, he's just giving us the record. But now that I'm thinking about it, you're right. I also love his SoundCloud. It has 7 songs that he posted, and it's like literally like 6 years apart from some of the songs. And I must have clicked it off. But yeah, so it's like 7 songs. He follows no one, and he has about 400,000 followers. And if I recall correctly, last week when we checked out the clip plus Real Friends, he had 40,000 fewer followers, which means like this is every time he puts something up, there's a whole new wave of people coming on. Any favorite lines that you had?
The line when he said, I got the lyrics pulled up here. I know some fans who thought I wouldn't rap like this again, but the writer's block is over. MCs cancel your plans. I don't know why. It's not like a particularly great line. It's just fun to see him and it was like after, I think it was the fact that it came after a lot of great lines.
Yeah.
That he realizes what he's saying, and to see like him kind of step back and say that, I enjoyed. It made me smile when I heard him say that.
I haven't dug through the lyrics too in depth. However, I did notice a lot of comment. I paid attention to the SoundCloud comments when they did the lyrics. There were so many people who were just like, "Writer's block is over, motherfucker!" And I was like, "He had a writer block." I thought I feel like he's very consistent with his releases. This is
The line, or was it Pink Fur got Nori dressing like Cam? Thank God for me. That is just hilarious to me. If you look up Cameron Pink Fur and
Cameron, you mean that guy who had a mild hit in 1998 or whatever? He did, and then he had a much bigger career later on.
Yeah.
Pink Fur. Oh my God. Oh, he looks like the Easter Bunny.
Yeah. It definitely feels like this is going to be like a family record. Like he's mentioning his family all over these songs.
Yeah.
Not just saying family, but like the names and everything.
Yeah, that was a little weird. I don't know. I mean, whatever. I'm not gonna. I never really criticize lyrics except for when I said the thing about the first draft. But no. But doesn't he? Was the line where he's talking about his kids? He's like, I'm really worried about my daughter and my wife. But my unborn /
he's born. He's like a month old, 2 months old now.
Well, he wrote this probably a few months ago. Whatever. Okay, fine then. Even better. His 1 month old son. He's like, he's good though.
Yeah.
he's a man. He's good though.
Yeah.
Really?
Can't wait for the feminists to jump on that one.
Yeah, I don't even they think they are. You think? I don't think they would for a couple of reasons, but one because I feel like, and I shouldn't say feminist, I should say more like the Tumblr feminists, the ones who are kind of bullies. They only jump on people who would defend themselves. Kanye would be like, "Fuck you, fuck you."
Yeah,
that's why I always laugh that those type of blogs never come after Bill O'Reilly. They come after like Jerry Seinfeld because they know Jerry's going to go, "No, please don't think that of me." And Bill O'Reilly's going to be like, say something even worse than anything they can accuse him.
Yeah.
Anyway.
So that's about it for Kanye this week.
That good dick won't put your ass to sleep. That's I was looking for that line.
I do have one note of this week in Kanye history.
Nice.
I guess it's about a week ago now, but in 2011, in January 11th is when the Ham single came out. That was, and I think that was like when I was first starting to like really get into him more than just like a casual fan. Yeah. And that song was all we got for a while, and it felt like it was about to, you hear a single come out, you're expecting, okay, album's coming out soon, but the album didn't come out until August of that year. 8 months later.
Yeah, wow.
And I don't know, Ham is kind of a funny song.
I'll have to check that out. I am definitely not I'm up until, I don't know, I've liked Kanye since College Dropout, but like, because I remember when he released his record, because I was like, that's that guy who was on Chappelle's show that one time. Yeah. That's that guy. But like, I've been a fan of his from that, and what I tend to do is up until maybe 2000, probably when I don't know, 2012, 2013, I would go, if I thought about a Kanye West song, I'd go, well, I have to listen to the discography, and I'd just like put it on until it was done. I'd go, it would be my background until I finished it for the most part. And now I'll listen like actively more frequently, but man, it was just like, anytime I put anything on, it just had to be that. But I never really gotten any B-sides. It was always just like, I had the discography, I added to it when he put out a record, and I just hit play, and that would, Yeah.
It's interesting to me to think about like this, maybe this Ham was never meant to be like a lead-off single for the album. Maybe it was, who knows? But the fact that it wasn't even on the album track list, it was like on the deluxe edition bonus tracks, makes me think it came out, and then they're like, oh, let's kind of rework this a bit, and then it didn't really fit in the main track list of it. Yeah. But definitely, look up, if you're unfamiliar with the song, look up the him and Jay-Z's performance of it on YouTube. There's like a Vivo Presents.
First thing that comes up. Beautiful. Oh, from Watch the Throne. Got it.
Yeah.
Ah, nice. Oh yeah, right. I got my years wrong. But okay, gotcha. Nice. Sweet. All right, cool. I'm glad that this song came out. This will be fun. Pretty soon, I want us to get into some. Okay, Kanye. The number one thing I want him doing is putting out music I like. The number two thing I want him doing is crazy shit that the internet blows up over. So pretty soon.
We're like 4 years too late with this podcast because he's all mellowed out with a family now.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Well, I think the benefit that we have is the retrospective.
Yeah, that's true.
Really get good context. But in the next week or two, if he doesn't do anything crazy, we have to pick one of his iconic moments, and we can go in chronological order. I'm sure there's a timeline of Kanye publicity nightmares. All right, excellent. Well, was there anything else we got?
I do have our favorite tweet of the week.
Beautiful. From Kanye.
There wasn't from Kanye, not from all of Twitter. I have perused all of Twitter. This is my favorite tweet.
and you've chosen to bring it up here?
Yes. So like I said, there wasn't a whole lot of activity. Aside from the 2 tweets about the song this morning, there was only 2 other tweets about David Bowie. The main one was, David Bowie was one of my most important inspirations, so fearless, so creative. He gave us magic for a lifetime.
Nice. Beautiful. If you're bringing up a tweet from him about David Bowie, then I want to bring up the weird coincidence thing that I showed you earlier.
Definitely do that.
30 seconds. I'm going to find it.
So this was the it was just a conspiracy theory about David Bowie dying and Kanye.
Just Kanye.
Just Kanye.
Yeah. So okay. So I guess lines from one of his records or one of his songs. Something happened on the day he died. Spirit rose a meter and stepped aside. Somebody else took his place and bravely cried, "I'm a black star. I'm a black star." And
these are David Bowie lyrics from his latest album.
And from the latest album. Okay, right.
Well,
I didn't know it was the
Star,
latest
right?
one. Yeah, that makes sense. I know a lot more about Kanye than David Bowie. Sorry. All right. And then somebody in this thread asks, "Who took his place?" And someone else responds, "It's right there on the cover." And above his, like a picture of his head, it says K West. And then someone else goes, everyone's like, "Oh, that's funny." And someone else goes, Ziggy Stardust and the Spiders from Mars is released in June of 1972. First track is titled 5 Years. Kanye West is born in June of 1977. K West on the cover. The date fits. He is literally a black star. So, there you go.
I love that.
Yeah, me too. I think it's really cool. And I'm glad you filled in the context for me because I clearly.
Yeah. Like obviously.
Well,
there isn't some greater conspiracy, but I just love how all the pieces just fit together so well.
Anytime that happens is so perfect.
Yeah.
All right, cool. All right, you want to sign us out?
Yeah, this has been another great week of keeping up with the West. Hope to see everyone back here next week with hopefully some crazy Kanye moments to talk about.
And if not, we'll force it in there.
Yeah, that's right.
All right, have a great week. We'll see you next.
See ya.
Bye.